Let's get into this. I did this whole thing one take, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be a whole lot of jump cuts. But whatever. This week's video is all about mount escapes. It covers training from last Saturday to this Saturday. The dates don't really matter. It's just Saturday to a Saturday. I was focusing on mount escapes because I am the head coach of the kids program at the gym. And at our last competition, we had a lot of our kids who were getting buried in mount. We also do tons of live drills from mount. The kids know a bunch of different mount escapes, and we were still having tons of issues. So what I wanted to do was go into the gym, put myself in these positions and get mounted and use the same mount escapes that they were using and see where the disconnect was between how I was teaching it, how I was actually doing it, and bring that information back to them in hopes of improving their mount escapes. But everything doesn't go as planned, always. Not in the sense that I wasn't able to do that, because I did, but it didn't go the way I expected it to go. The first thing starting off was just the fact that mentally, emotionally, I wasn't doing well in this past Saturday to Saturday, this past week. Full transparency, I'm going through a breakup, however you want to put it. And it just did not affect me well, which I don't think many people would expect it to. Was really caught off guard by it, and it affected my mental health negatively, which you can expect. Just depression and anxiety. My anxiety, when it gets bad, turns into like a sharp chest pain a lot of times, and also like twitching muscle spasms. Like it could be in my eye, shoulder, leg, wherever, just random muscle spasms, and also grinding my teeth in my sleep at night. So I was going through a lot of that, trying to deal with processing that whole situation, and it just led me to not wanting to train at all. Another thing I've noticed is when my anxiety is super high, my cardio takes a huge hit, like awful. So being putting myself in the bottom of mount all week, carrying all of that weight and having to, it looked like shit. It looked terrible. The good thing is that the gym helped, as it always does. Once I walk in the door, I'm not thinking about anything but the people that are there and the things that we're doing inside of that building, which is a key point that, a lot of the people I interviewed for the documentary spoke about. You know what? Matter of fact, take a look at this.
And I think it really forces people to stop all that outside stuff, restart, and then when they leave, it's almost like they took a nap for an hour at home and now they woke up, okay, nothing's bothering me, how can I make better decisions? How can I alleviate some of that anxiety, some of that stress, to then turn it into hey, I'm dealing with this and I'm being successful with it.
You think about your drilling, you think about your rolling, and it takes up space in your brain that you might have reserved for those kind of anxious thoughts or those depressive thoughts that creep in. So it just kind of keeps your mind busy. And especially when I'm here, rolling, if someone's like on my back or something, I'm not thinking about, something I might have been sad about earlier that day or something I'm fearing in the future. I'm thinking it keeps you present, keeps you thinking about the moment that you're in. And even after you leave the gym, you're still thinking about those moments and what you could have done differently.
You come on the mats and that all vanishes for the hour or two that you're here, and you're able to like basically escape that reality. And then when you get off the mats, you feel like this like burden that's off of you. It's like this like sense of relief. It's like weight off your shoulders, and you're able to approach those problems with a much clearer mindset.
So that was a little sneak peek from the mini doc that I mentioned in the previous video. Hopefully I'll get that finished and get that out to people soon. There's a lot of stuff that goes into my head and trying to make that work, and hopefully I can push through all of that and get that out sooner than later. But back to all this mount shit, right? Let's check out this footage. So the big thing is that I noticed is that the kind of normal way, not normal, but like the base mount escape that we were teaching the kids, the one that I've used the most has been like what we call like a hip bump escape. So it's just, it's a bridging escape, framing on the hips, pulling it, best case scenario, pulling the knees through, and you're going to end up in butterfly guard with double underhooks. The problem that the kids were having and that I've seen is that if the person who's mounting you is skydiving, so they're crossing their ankles, they're hipping in and connecting their hips to your hips, it can be damn near impossible to hit that escape without breaking open their legs and all that other kind of stuff. If they pinch their knees together, if you're able to separate their hips from yours after you bridge and extend your arms, and they start pinching their knees together, it can still be very difficult to get this escape off. So I've seen the kipping escape before and I'd played with it before, but I really took a deep dive into it this week, and I found that it was more effective for me when the person on top was just being very heavy with their hips. The swinging the legs and getting onto a side seems like it forced the person to put more weight on one side than one knee than the other one. And from there, once you start kipping the legs, it's pretty easy to pull the knees through as long as you're framing on the hips so that they can't continue to drop their hips down and drop their weight down. And the footage of me playing in these positions and playing with this kip and escape, you'll see that it just looks really fucking sloppy. And I look really fucking sloppy. But maybe we'll talk about that in a different episode, different video. Like I said, mentally I just wasn't really there. I knew what I wanted to do and I knew what I felt like I had to do for the kids class and figuring this stuff out. So I went ahead and I did it anyway, even though it fucking sucked and I didn't want to be there and I didn't want to do it. But, coming into the gym, just shooting the shit with people, when you come in, like, you're laughing, joking, makes you forget everything, makes you forget that you feel like you're fucking sucking on the mats lately. Makes you forget that, all is wrong outside of the gym because all feels right inside. Yeah, so let's try to get into this video.
This never happened. Alex did it all. We're pushing different attachment styles.
You going out the back door, son?
Do I
Yeah, okay. Try to see if you get your right hook in. Over to that. Yep.
I got